The wine hits my face at 8:47 p.m. I know the exact time because I'm staring at that stupid clock on the restaurant wall, counting down the minutes until I can leave this nightmare of a birthday dinner. Red liquid drips down my cheeks, soaking into my new silk blouse, the one I bought specially for tonight because I wanted to look nice for my son. Jessica stands over me, her empty glass still raised like a weapon. "That's what you get for interfering," she hisses. The entire restaurant goes silent. Forks freeze halfway to mouths. A waiter drops a tray somewhere in the back. Everyone is staring at me, the pathetic old woman with wine running down her face like blood. But I'm not looking at them. I'm looking at David. My son sits across from me, his mouth hanging open, his hand halfway raised like he might actually do something. For one stupid second, I think he's going to stand up for me. Tell his wife she's crossed a line. Apologize for the woman he married. Then his hand slowly lowers back to the table. "Mom," he says quietly, "you shouldn't have said that about the nursing home." I feel something crack inside my chest. "I asked a simple question," I whisper. My voice shakes. "I asked why you've been looking at assisted living facilities without telling me." "We've talked about this," Jessica snaps. She's not even pretending to be sorry. Her perfectly manicured nails tap against the empty wine glass. "You're getting older. You can't take care of that big house anymore. We're trying to help you." Help me. The words taste like poison. I've heard them before, so many times over the past 20 years. Jessica helping me by taking over holiday planning so I can't host anymore. Helping by telling David I'm too old to babysit my own grandchildren. Helping by slowly, carefully cutting me out of my son's life one piece at a time. "I'm 64, I say. My hands are shaking. "Not 90. "Mom, please." David won't look at me. He's studying his plate like it holds the answers to the universe. "Let's not do this here." "Do what? Stand up for myself?" Jessica laughs. Actually laughs. "Oh, here we go. The victim act." She tosses her blonde hair over her shoulder. "Do you know how exhausting it is, David? 20 years of this. 20 years of your mother guilting you, manipulating you, making everything about her." I stand up so fast my chair scrapes against the floor. Wine drips onto the white tablecloth. I can feel mascara running down my cheeks mixing with the red stains. I probably look insane. I don't care. "Excuse me," I say. My voice comes out stronger than I feel. I grab my purse and walk toward the bathroom. Every eye in the restaurant follows me. I hear whispers starting up behind me like a wave. An older couple at the corner table looks at me with pity. A young woman covers her mouth with her hand. I hate them all. The bathroom is empty, thank God. I lock myself in a stall and let out a breath that sounds more like a sob. My hands won't stop shaking. I pull out my phone, thinking I'll call my sister, tell her what happened, hear her say what I already know, that I should have stood up to Jessica years ago. But when I unlock my screen, I see something that makes me freeze. A notification. A text message, but not to me. I step out of the stall slowly, walk to the sink, splash cold water on my face. The wine comes off in pink streaks, circling the drain like evidence. That's when I notice Jessica's designer purse sitting on the counter. She must have left it when she went to the bathroom earlier, before she threw wine in my face, before she ruined my birthday, before my son chose her over me for the 1,000th time. The phone inside buzzes. I shouldn't look, I know I shouldn't look. My hand reaches for the purse anyway. The phone sits face up on top of her wallet, screen glowing. No passcode. She's always been careless like that, too confident, too sure no one would dare check. The message fills the screen. "Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Tell David you're visiting your sister again." My breath catches. I scroll up. There are dozens of messages, hundreds maybe, all from a number saved as Tom Contractor. "Last night was amazing. When are you finally leaving him? The trust fund money cleared. We're almost ready." Trust fund money. My late husband's trust fund. The one he set up for David and the grandchildren. The one Jessica has been managing for the past 5 years because she convinced David I was too emotional to handle finances after my husband died. My hands start shaking so hard I almost drop the phone. I take photos. Fast. Frantic. Screenshot after screenshot. The affair messages. The bank transfers. A message from 3 weeks ago. Found a facility for his mom. Place called Shady Oaks. Once she's there, we'll have the house too. The bathroom door swings open. I shove the phone back into her purse just as Jessica walks in. She stops when she sees me, her eyes narrowing. "Having a breakdown in the bathroom?" she asks sweetly. "How very like you." I look at her, really look at her. This woman who has stolen 20 years of my life, who has slowly poisoned my relationship with my son, who is planning to lock me away in some nursing home while she runs off with her lover and my family's money. I smile. It's not a nice smile. "Just cleaning up," I say softly. I walk past her, my shoulder brushing hers. I smell her expensive perfume, the kind I could never afford, the kind she buys with money that should have gone to my grandchildren's college funds. When I get back to the table, David is paying the check. "Ready to go, Mom?" he asks. He still won't meet my eyes. "Yes," I say. Jessica slides into the seat beside him, wrapping her arm through his like she owns him. She probably thinks she does. "I'm sorry about earlier," she says, her voice dripping with fake sincerity. "I shouldn't have lost my temper. It's just, we worry about you, you know? Living alone in that big house. Anything could happen. Anything could happen." The words hang in the air like a threat. David squeezes her hand. "We love you, Mom. We just want what's best for you." I look at my son, this man I raised, who I sacrificed everything for, who is sitting here holding the hand of a woman planning to destroy us both. And I realize something. He has no idea what his wife really is. But I do. And now I have proof. "I know you do, sweetheart," I say gently. I lean over and kiss his cheek. "I know you love me." Jessica's smile falters. Just for a second, like she heard something in my voice that wasn't there before. I pick up my purse and head for the door. Behind me, I hear David say, "See, I told you she'd understand." I step out into the cold night air, wine-stained and mascara-streaked and done being silent. My phone buzzes in my hand. I look down at the screenshots I took, at the evidence that could destroy Jessica's perfect little life. 20 years, I think. 20 years of biting my tongue. Not anymore. I drive home alone, my car still smelling like cheap Merlot and failure. The house is dark when I pull into the driveway. It's been dark a lot lately, empty, the kind of quiet that makes you remember everyone you've lost. My husband died 5 years ago, heart attack at 62. 1 minute he was mowing the lawn, the next he was gone. David cried at the funeral. Jessica cried 2 big dramatic sobs that everyone noticed. I should have known then that her tears were fake. I kick off my heels in the hallway and head straight for my bedroom. My hands are still shaking. I can still feel the wine dripping down my face, still see the way David looked away from me, still hear Jessica's voice. 20 years of your mother guilting you. 20 years. She's right about that, at least. I've been silent for 20 years. I go to my closet and push aside the winter coats I never wear anymore. Behind them, on the top shelf, sits an old shoebox, plain, brown, the kind that holds Christmas ornaments or old photos. This one holds evidence. My hands tremble as I pull it down. Dust scatters into the air. I carry it to my bed and sit down hard, the mattress creaking under me. For a long moment, I just stare at it. Then I open the lid. Papers spill out across my floral bedspread. Bank statements, canceled checks, printed emails, photocopies of signatures that don't quite match. 6 months' worth of evidence that I've been collecting like a coward, too afraid to use it. The lawyer called me in April. "Mrs. Chen," he'd said, his voice careful, "I need to talk to you about some irregular withdrawals from your husband's trust fund." Irregular. Such a polite word for theft. "What kind of withdrawals?" I'd asked. "Large ones, frequent ones, all authorized by your daughter-in-law." I'd felt sick. "How much?" The pause on the other end of the line lasted forever. "So far, about $847,000. I pick up a bank statement now, dated 3 months ago. The numbers blur in front of my eyes. $847,000. Money my husband spent 30 years saving. Money meant for David's future. For my grandchildren's education. Gone. I spread the papers out under my bedside lamp like evidence at a crime scene. Check after check made out to companies I've never heard of. Home Renovations Plus, Luxury Interior Design, TC Investments. TC Investments. Tom Contractor. My stomach turns. I pull out my phone and look at the screenshots I took in the restaurant bathroom, scroll through them again. The messages get worse the further I read. Another $50K cleared today. Your mother-in-law has no idea. David's so easy to manipulate. I just cry a little and he gives me whatever I want. Once we get her into that nursing home, we can sell the house. Should get at least $900K for it. My house. The house where I raised my son, where my husband died in the backyard, where I've lived for 37 years. They're planning to sell it out from under me. I close my eyes and suddenly I'm back at David's wedding, 20 years ago. Jessica in her white dress, holding my son's hand, promising to love him forever. I'd hugged her that day. Welcomed her into our family. Told her I was so happy to have a daughter. She'd smiled and said, "Thank you, Mom." But she never called me Mom again. First, it was the little things. She'd plan family dinners and forget to invite me. She'd take photos of David and the kids and cut me out of the frame. She'd whisper to David when I walked into a room, then go silent when I got close enough to hear. I remember the first time she didn't let me hold my grandson. He was 3 days old. I'd driven to the hospital with flowers and a stuffed bear, so excited to meet him. But when I reached for him, Jessica pulled him away. "He's sleeping," she'd said coldly. "You'll wake him." He wasn't sleeping. His eyes were wide open. David had just stood there, said nothing, chose her. He always chose her. I remember the Christmas she told everyone I was too old to host anymore. The birthday parties I wasn't invited to. The school plays where there were never enough tickets for Grandma. The slow, careful way she erased me from my own family. And I let her. I let her because I was afraid of losing David, afraid of being the difficult mother-in-law, afraid of being alone. So I stayed silent. Even when my lawyer called 6 months ago and told me what she was doing, I stayed silent. I collected evidence, made copies, took notes, but I didn't act. Because I'm a coward. My phone buzzes on the nightstand. I ignore it. Probably David, calling to make excuses for his wife. Again. I pick up another document. This one makes my blood run cold. It's a form from Shady Oaks Assisted Living Facility. An application filled out 3 weeks ago. In Jessica's handwriting. Under Reason for Admission, she's written, "Patient shows signs of memory loss and confusion. Family concerned for her safety." Memory loss. Confusion. I'm 64 years old. I can still name every president, balance my checkbook, drive myself to the grocery store. There's nothing wrong with my memory. But if Jessica convinces David I'm losing it, if she gets him to sign the papers, they could lock me away, take everything, and no one would question it because I'm just the elderly mother who's confused. My hands clench into fists. The phone buzzes again, and again. I grab it, ready to tell David exactly what I think of him and his wife. But it's not David. It's 2 a.m. now. The bedroom is dark except for the lamp. Papers are scattered across my bed like pieces of a puzzle I finally understand. The screen shows 2 notifications. First, a missed call from David. Second, a text from a number I don't recognize. I open the text. "Mrs. Chen, this is Detective Sarah Martinez. We met at your husband's funeral 5 years ago. I need to talk to you about Jessica Park. It's urgent. Please don't tell anyone I contacted you." My heart stops. Detective. I remember her now, tall woman with kind eyes. She'd come to the funeral to pay respects, said she'd worked with my husband on some charity board. We'd talked for maybe 5 minutes. I'd been too grief-stricken to remember much else. Why is she texting me about Jessica? Why at 2 a.m.? Why urgent? My phone rings. David's name flashes across the screen. My finger hovers over the answer button. For 20 years, I've answered every call, shown up to every dinner, swallowed every insult, played the perfect, grateful mother who was just happy to be included. The phone keeps ringing. I look at the detective's message again. Urgent. I look at the papers on my bed, $847,000. I look at the application to Shady Oaks, memory loss and confusion. The phone rings one more time. Then I let it go to voicemail. Someone is knocking on my door at 7 a.m. I haven't slept. I've spent the entire night sitting on my bed, surrounded by evidence of my daughter-in-law's crimes, staring at Detective Martinez's text message like it might explain itself. The knocking comes again, louder this time. I pull on my robe and shuffle to the front door, still smelling like wine and exhaustion. Through the peephole, I see a tall woman in a dark jacket holding 2 coffee cups from the place down the street. Detective Martinez. My hand freezes on the doorknob. Mrs. Chen, she calls softly. I know you're there, please. I brought coffee. I open the door. She looks exactly like I remember from the funeral. Late 40s, dark hair pulled back, eyes that see too much. But there's something different now, an urgency in the way she stands, like she's been waiting for this moment. I'm sorry to come so early, she says, but we don't have much time. Time for what? She glances over her shoulder at the empty street. Can I come in? I should say no. I should ask for identification. I should call someone David, my lawyer, anyone. Instead, I step aside and let her in. We sit at my kitchen table. The same table where I've eaten breakfast alone for 5 years, where I used to have coffee with my husband every morning before he died, where David used to do his homework when he was 10. Detective Martinez slides one of the coffees across to me. You didn't answer David's call last night, she says. My blood runs cold. How do you know that? Because I've been watching Jessica for 8 months. She pulls a manila folder from her bag and sets it on the table between us. And I've been waiting for someone in that family to finally see what she really is. I stare at the folder. I don't want to touch it. What is she? I whisper. A serial predator. The words hang in the air like smoke. Detective Martinez opens the folder. Inside are photos, documents, police reports. She spreads them across my kitchen table like a hand of cards. Jessica Park, she says. Except that's not her real name. Her birth name is Jennifer Paulson. She's been married 3 times. You're looking at husband number 3. My hands shake as I pick up the first photo. It shows Jessica younger, different hair, same cold smile, standing next to an older man. Gray hair, kind eyes, his arm wrapped around her waist. Richard Chen, Detective Martinez says. Married her in 2001. He was 63. She was 28. He died 6 months later. Heart attack. I look up sharply. Heart attack? Officially, yes. She taps another photo. This is husband number 1, Gregory Walsh. Married 1998. He was 57. She was 24. Died of a heart attack after 8 months of marriage. Left her everything. My coffee sits untouched, going cold. And this, she continues, sliding over a third photo, is Marcus Drummond, husband number 2. Married 2004. He was 61. She was 31. Heart attack. 13 months. 300,000 in life insurance. 3 men. 3 heart attacks. 3 inheritances. You're saying she killed them. I'm saying 3 healthy men in their 60s all died of sudden cardiac arrest within a year of marrying a woman who walked away very, very rich. Detective Martinez leans forward. And I'm saying your son is the same age as those men were when they died, and he's been having chest pains lately, hasn't he? I can't breathe. How do you know that? Because Jessica's been buying antifreeze. Small bottles from different stores. Never the same place twice. She pulls out receipts stapled together. Ethylene glycol poisoning mimics a heart attack. It's hard to detect unless you're specifically looking for it, and by the time symptoms show up, it's usually too late. The room spins. David has been complaining about chest pain for 3 months. Jessica keeps telling him it's stress. Keeps making him special smoothies in the morning to help his heart. Oh God. Why? My voice cracks. Why are you telling me this? Because I can't prove it yet. Detective Martinez's jaw tightens. The first two husbands were cremated. No evidence. Marcus Drummond's body was exhumed last year, but the toxicology came back inconclusive. Too much time had passed. I've been building a case, watching her, waiting for her to make a mistake. And has she? Yes. When she married your son. The detective pulls out another document. David's trust fund, the one your late husband set up. Jessica's been embezzling from it for 5 years. That's wire fraud. That's something I can prove, but I need your help. I look at the papers spread across my table. Evidence of 3 dead husbands. Bank statements showing missing money. Receipts for antifreeze purchased across 6 different stores. What do you want me to do? Pretend nothing's wrong, she says simply. Keep going to family dinners. Keep playing the forgiving mother-in-law. Wear a wire. Let her talk. Let her brag. Predators like Jessica can't help themselves, they love to gloat. A wire? We need her to confess to the embezzlement. Or at least admit she's planning something. One recorded conversation about the trust fund, about putting you in a home, about anything, and we can arrest her. Search her house. Find the antifreeze. Save your son. I think about David, about the way he looked at me last night in that restaurant, the way he chose her over me, again. He won't believe me, I whisper. If I tell him what she is, he won't believe me. I know. Detective Martinez's voice softens. That's why we can't tell him. Not yet. Right now, your son thinks his wife loves him. He thinks his mother is difficult and dramatic. He thinks he's in a happy marriage. He's wrong. Yes, but we need proof before we can show him that. I pick up the photo of Jessica with her first husband. Look at her young face, that calculated smile. She was already a killer then, already planning her next move. How long has she been doing this? I ask. I don't know. Maybe her whole life. Women like Jessica, they find vulnerable men. Older, wealthy, often widowed or divorced. They charm them, marry them, isolate them from family and friends. Then they kill them and move on to the next one. David's not older. No, but he has money. A trust fund worth over $2 million, and a mother with a paid-off house in a nice neighborhood. Detective Martinez meets my eyes. She's not going to kill David until she's drained everything, until she's sold your house, until there's nothing left to take. The nursing home, I breathe. She's trying to put me in a nursing home so she can sell my house. Exactly. And once you're locked away, declared incompetent, who's going to question what happens to David? Who's going to notice when he starts getting sicker? When his heart finally gives out? No one. Because Jessica has spent 20 years making sure I have no voice, no credibility, making me look crazy and desperate and bitter. If David dies, everyone will say it was stress. Poor Jessica, losing another husband. Poor Jessica, stuck taking care of a difficult mother-in-law. Poor Jessica. I stand up so fast my chair scrapes against the floor. When do we start? Detective Martinez smiles. It's not a nice smile. It's the smile of someone who's been hunting a predator for months and finally found an ally. Tonight, she says, I need you to invite them to Sunday dinner. Can you do that? I think about 20 years of silence, 20 years of swallowing insults and biting my tongue and playing small. I think about my son, drinking poisoned smoothies while his wife plans his funeral. I think about the wine dripping down my face while everyone watched. Yes, I say, I can do that. Detective Martinez pulls a small device from her bag. It's tiny, barely bigger than a button. This is a wire. We'll hide it in your clothes. It'll record everything. All you have to do is act normal. Let her talk. Get her comfortable. What if she suspects something? She won't. She thinks you're weak. She's been telling David you're losing your mind, memory problems, confusion. In her eyes, you're not a threat. The detective's voice hardens. Use that. Let her underestimate you. I take the wire. It's so small, so light. Hard to believe something this tiny could bring down a monster. One more thing, Detective Martinez says. She slides a final photo across the table. It's recent, taken maybe last week. Jessica standing outside a coffee shop, her arm linked through a man's. He's younger than David, handsome, smiling. That's Tom Renfrew, the detective says. The contractor she's been texting. He's got 2 priors for fraud. They met 6 months ago. They're planning to run off together as soon as she finishes with David. I stare at the photo, at Jessica's smile, at the way she looks at this man the same way she used to look at David in their wedding photos. Does David know? Not yet. My phone buzzes on the table. A text from David. Mom, I'm sorry about last night. Can we talk? Detective Martinez watches me. What are you going to tell him? I pick up my phone, type slowly. Of course, sweetheart. Come over for Sunday dinner, bring Jessica. I'll make her favorite. I hit send. Then I look at the detective. I'm going to save my son, I say quietly. Even if he hates me for it. Jessica doesn't want to come. I can hear her through the phone, that sharp edge in her voice. David, I really don't think. Please, Jess. My son sounds exhausted, desperate. It's my mom. She's trying. Can't you just try too? There's a long pause. Then Jessica's voice, dripping with fake sweetness. Of course, honey. For you. I hang up and look at Detective Martinez, who's been sitting in my kitchen for the past 3 days, planning everything down to the last detail. She agreed, I say. Good. The detective checks her watch. We have 6 hours. Let's get to work. Sunday dinner is at 6 o'clock. By noon, my house looks like a crime scene investigation unit. Tiny cameras are installed in my smoke detectors. Microphones hide inside my flower vases. Detective Martinez's team moves through my home like ghosts, marking everything with little red dots that only they can see. They'll never know we're here, one of them promises. I'm not reassured. I spend the afternoon cooking, roasted chicken with garlic potatoes, green beans almondine, homemade rolls, apple pie from scratch, Jessica's favorite, or at least that's what she told David once. Everything has to be perfect. Everything has to look like I'm the desperate mother trying to repair things with her daughter-in-law. Detective Martinez helps me set the table. She's wearing jeans and a sweater now, playing the role of my friend from church. Her real team is 3 houses down in an unmarked van, listening to everything through the wires. Remember, she says quietly, arranging the silverware. Let her talk. Ask innocent questions. Don't push too hard. And if she doesn't say anything, she will. Women like Jessica, they can't help themselves. They need to feel superior. They need to gloat. She squeezes my shoulder. You've been her victim for 20 years. She thinks you're broken. Use that. At 5:30, Detective Martinez leaves through the back door. At 5:45, I pin the tiny wire to the inside of my cardigan. At 5:58, David's car pulls into my driveway. I watch through the window as they get out. David looks tired, dark circles under his eyes, shoulders slumped. He's lost weight. Too much weight. The chest pains, I think. The smoothies. Jessica steps out of the passenger side wearing a cream-colored dress and heels. She looks perfect. Not a hair out of place. She's carrying a bottle of wine. Red wine. My hands clench. The doorbell rings. I paste on a smile and open the door. David! Jessica! Come in! Come in! David hugs me immediately. Hi, Mom. Thanks for inviting us. Of course, sweetheart. I hold him tight, trying not to think about antifreeze and heart attacks and 3 dead husbands. I'm so glad you're here. Jessica steps inside. Her smile doesn't reach her eyes. Mrs. Chen, thank you for having us. Mrs. Chen, not Mom. Never Mom. Please, I say, call me Linda. Something flickers across her face. Suspicion, maybe? Or confusion? I never ask her to use my first name. Good, I think. Be confused. Be off balance. We sit down in the living room, David on the couch beside his wife, me in the armchair across from them. The camera in the smoke detector above the TV has a perfect view of all of us. Wine? Jessica holds up the bottle. I brought your favorite. My favorite. The same cheap Merlot she threw in my face 6 days ago. That's so thoughtful, I say. My voice doesn't shake. But I think I'll stick to water tonight. My stomach's been a little upset. Jessica's smile tightens. Of course. David shifts uncomfortably. So, Mom, about the other night. It's forgotten, I say quickly. I reach over and pat his hand. We all say things we don't mean when we're upset. Family is family, right? He looks relieved. Right, exactly. Jessica is watching me like a hawk. Her manicured nails tap against the wine bottle in her lap. Tap, tap, tap. Well, she says slowly, this is unexpected. I thought for sure you'd want to talk about everything. Everything? I tilt my head, playing innocent. The nursing home discussion? The things you said at the restaurant? Her voice has an edge now. You were quite upset. I was, I admit, but I've had time to think, and maybe you're right. Maybe I am getting too old to manage this big house by myself. Dead silence. David stares at me. Mom, are you serious? I'm 64, David. Your father died 5 years ago. I'm here all alone. I look around the living room like I'm seeing it for the first time. It is a lot of space for one person. Jessica leans forward. Her eyes are bright, hungry. So you'd consider Shady Oaks? The facility we found? Maybe. I'd like to see it first, of course. Of course. Jessica's smile is huge now. Real. We could go next week. They have a lovely garden, and bingo on Thursdays. Bingo on Thursdays. Like I'm already dead. David squeezes my hand. Mom, if you're really okay with this. I am. I stand up. Let me check on dinner. In the kitchen, I grip the edge of the counter and breathe. The wire presses against my chest. Detective Martinez's voice echoes in my head. Let her talk. Get her comfortable. I hear footsteps behind me. Jessica appears in the doorway, alone. Need help? She asks. That would be lovely. She comes to stand beside me at the stove. For a moment, we work in silence, her stirring the green beans, me checking the chicken. Like we're friends. Like she hasn't been stealing from my family. Like she hasn't been poisoning my son. I have to admit, Jessica says finally, I'm surprised. About what? This. She waves her hand around the kitchen. The dinner, the apology. You've never been this reasonable before. I keep my voice light. Maybe I'm tired of fighting. Are you? She's studying my face. Or are you planning something? My heart pounds. Planning something? Jessica, I'm 64 years old. What could I possibly be planning? She laughs. Actually laughs. You're right. Sorry. I guess I'm just paranoid. She takes a sip of her wine. It's been a long few years, you know. Taking care of David. Managing the trust fund. Dealing with everything. There it is. The opening. The trust fund must be complicated, I say carefully. My husband set it up so strangely. All those rules and restrictions. Oh, it's a nightmare. Jessica rolls her eyes. The paperwork alone is insane. And David's no help, he just signs whatever I put in front of him. He trusts you. He does. Her smile is sharp. Completely. I pull the chicken from the oven. I'm grateful you've taken that burden on. Managing money has never been my strength. No offense, Mrs. Chen, but I noticed. She's getting comfortable now. Confident. Some of the investment choices your husband made, they were terrible. I've had to move things around. Liquidate assets. It's taken years to fix. Liquidate assets. The wire is catching every word. I'm sure you know best, I murmur. I do. She refills her wine glass. David's lucky to have me. Someone who actually understands finance. Someone who can make the hard decisions. Like selling my house? The words slip out before I can stop them. Jessica freezes, her glass halfway to her lips. What? When I move to Shady Oaks. I keep my voice innocent, casual. You'll sell the house, won't you? David mentioned it's worth quite a bit now. She recovers quickly. Too quickly. We haven't decided anything yet. But you've thought about it. Of course we've thought about it. This house is huge. The property taxes alone are… She stops, catches herself. We just want what's best for you, Mrs. Chen. Linda, I correct softly. Please call me Linda. Her jaw tightens. Linda. I carry the chicken to the dining room. Jessica follows with the wine bottle. David is already at the table, checking his phone. "Dinner's ready," I call out cheerfully. We sit. We eat. I watch Jessica charm my son with smiles and touches and little inside jokes. I watch David look at her like she hung the moon. I watch a predator play with her food. Halfway through the meal, David's phone rings. He glances at the screen and frowns. "It's work. I should take this." "Go ahead, honey," Jessica says. He steps into the hallway. And then it's just me and Jessica. She takes a long drink of wine. "You know, Linda, I have to admit something." "What's that?" "I didn't think you'd ever give up this house. You've always been so attached to it." She looks around the dining room. "But I'm glad you're being practical. It really is too much for someone your age." "You're probably right." "I am right." She leans back in her chair. "And honestly, once you're settled at Shady Oaks, things will be so much easier for everyone. David won't have to worry about you anymore. We can focus on our own lives, our own plans." "Plans?" Her smile is dangerous. "David and I have been talking about traveling, Europe, Asia, places we've never been, but we couldn't do that with you here, needing constant attention." I bite my tongue so hard I taste blood. "That sounds wonderful," I manage. "It will be." She refills her wine glass again. She's on her third glass now, getting loose, getting careless. David deserves a life without all this stress, without always having to choose between his wife and his mother. He loves you very much. He does. He'd do anything for me. She meets my eyes. Anything I ask, sign any paper, believe any story. He's completely devoted. The wire is recording everything, every word, every confession. I'm about to respond when the front door opens. Not David coming back from his phone call. Someone else. A man steps into the dining room, younger than David, handsome, wearing a leather jacket. Tom Renfrew. Jessica's face goes white. "Surprise, baby," he says with a grin. "Couldn't wait until tomorrow." Then he sees me. His grin falters. Jessica stands up so fast her chair falls over. "Tom, what are you? You can't be here." But it's too late. David appears in the hallway behind Tom, his phone still in his hand, his face completely blank. "Who," he says quietly, "is this?" Jessica's mouth opens, closes. No words come out. Tom looks between them. "Wait, you're David? I thought Jessica said." The lights in the house suddenly brighten. The front door opens again. Detective Martinez walks in, badge raised. "Jessica Park, you're under arrest for wire fraud and embezzlement." Behind her, 4 uniformed officers. Jessica lunges. Not at the detective, at me. She goes for the knife on the table, the steak knife I deliberately left within reach. Her hand closes around the handle. She's fast, faster than I expected. But Detective Martinez is faster. She tackles Jessica to the ground in 3 seconds. The knife skitters across the hardwood floor. Jessica screams animal rage, pure fury, and for a moment I see the real her, the monster underneath. David stands frozen, staring, not understanding. "David," I start. He holds up his hand. "Don't." An officer picks up Jessica's designer purse from the floor. It spills open. Contents scatter. A small vial of clear liquid rolls across my dining room floor. Detective Martinez picks it up carefully. "That's antifreeze," she says, "the same thing that killed her last 2 husbands." David's face drains of color. "Last 2 what?" "Your wife," Detective Martinez says as she handcuffs Jessica, "has been married 3 times before you. All of her husbands died of sudden heart attacks. All of them were wealthy, and all of them left her everything." Jessica spits, literally spits at the detective's feet. "You can't prove anything." "Actually, I can." Detective Martinez pulls out her phone, plays a recording. Jessica's voice fills the room. "David's lucky to have me. Someone who can make the hard decisions. Once you're settled at Shady Oaks, things will be so much easier for everyone. David won't have to worry about you anymore." My son looks at me, really looks at me. I see the moment it all clicks. The dinners I wasn't invited to, the nursing home applications, the missing money from the trust fund, the chest pains he's been having, the smoothies Jessica makes him every morning. "Mom," he whispers. "I know, baby," I say softly. "I know." They drag Jessica toward the door. She's screaming now, cursing, threatening lawsuits and calling me every name she can think of. But I don't hear her. I only see David, my son, alive, safe. Detective Martinez pauses at the door. "Mrs. Chen, we're going to need you to come down to the station. Give a formal statement." "Of course." She looks at David. "You too, Mr. Chen, and you should probably get to a hospital, get a blood test, just in case." "Just in case she's been poisoning you for months," she doesn't say. David nods numbly. As they take Jessica away, she turns back one last time, looks right at me, and smiles. "You think you've won," she hisses. "But David will never forgive you for this. Never. You just destroyed his life." Maybe she's right. Maybe my son will hate me forever for saving him. But at least he'll be alive to hate me. 3 months later, I'm sitting in my lawyer's office with David and my grandchildren. The room smells like old books and coffee. Outside the window, it's snowing, the first snow of December, soft and quiet, covering everything in white. David hasn't spoken to me in 2 weeks. Not since the trial ended. Not since Jessica was sentenced to 45 years for 3 counts of murder, 17 counts of fraud, and attempted murder of my son. Attempted murder. The blood tests came back positive. Ethylene glycol in his system. Not enough to kill him yet, but enough. Another few months of those morning smoothies and he would have been dead. My son almost died. And he's angry at me for saving him. "Mrs. Chen?" The lawyer, a kind man named Richard, who's been handling my family's affairs for 30 years, gestures to the conference table. "Shall we begin?" I sit. David sits as far away from me as possible, my 2 grandchildren between us like a buffer. Emma is 12 now, Ryan is 9. They keep looking at me with wide, confused eyes. They don't understand why Daddy won't talk to Grandma anymore. Richard opens a thick folder. "We're here today to discuss the restoration of the trust fund and the restructuring of the estate." David stares at the table. "As you know," Richard continues, "Jessica Park embezzled approximately $847,000 over a 5-year period. The FBI has recovered most of it, about $600,000 so far. The rest was spent on items that have been seized and will be sold at auction. Items. That's a polite word for the luxury cars and designer clothes and secret apartment Jessica bought with my grandchildren's college fund. The money will be returned to the trust," Richard says, "and per Mrs. Chen's request, she's being added as co-executor to prevent this from happening again." David's jaw tightens. "Fine." That's all he says. "Fine." Like I'm the problem, like I'm the one who betrayed him. Richard clears his throat uncomfortably. "There's also the matter of Mrs. Chen's estate. She's asked to update her will." "I don't want to talk about this," David says suddenly. He stands up. "I don't want her money. I don't want anything from her." "David," Richard starts. "She destroyed my life." My son's voice cracks. His hands are shaking. "My wife is in prison. My kids ask me every day why Mommy isn't coming home. Do you know what that's like? Explaining to your 9-year-old that his mother is a murderer?" Emma starts crying quietly. "I want to reach for her, want to pull her into my arms like I used to when she was little, but I don't move. Because David's right. I did destroy his life. I just saved it first." "Your wife was planning to kill you," I say softly. "She was poisoning you. She killed 3 other men the same way." "I know that," he whirls on me. "I know what she did. I know she was a monster. But you," his voice breaks. "You knew for months. You had evidence. And you didn't tell me. You let me keep loving her, keep trusting her, keep drinking those damn smoothies while you played detective. If I'd told you, you wouldn't have believed me. You don't know that." "Yes, I do." I stand up slowly. My legs feel weak. "David, she spent 20 years turning you against me, making me look crazy, making you choose between us. If I had come to you without proof, without the police, without everything, what would you have done?" He doesn't answer. because we both know the truth. He would have chosen Jessica. Again. I'm sorry, I whisper. I'm sorry I couldn't protect you from this pain. But I'm not sorry I saved your life. David stares at me for a long moment. His eyes are red. He's lost so much weight. The doctors say his heart is damaged, not permanently, but enough. Enough that he'll need monitoring for the rest of his life. I need time, he finally says. I can't look at you right now without seeing everything I lost. I understand. Do you? His laugh is bitter. My wife is in prison, my kids are traumatized, I almost died, and every time I look at you, all I can think is if you had just told me sooner, If I had told you sooner, you'd be dead, I say quietly, and Jessica would be raising your children on your life insurance money while planning her next wedding. The room goes silent. Richard shuffles papers uncomfortably. Emma is crying harder now. Ryan has his head down, hands over his ears. I've done this to them, to my family. But they're alive. David walks to the door, pauses. The kids can visit you, if they want. But I need space. Maybe a lot of space. Maybe, I don't know, I just can't do this right now. Then he's gone. Emma runs after him. Daddy, wait. Ryan lingers in the doorway. He's so small, too small to understand any of this. Grandma? He says quietly. Did you really save Daddy's life? My throat tightens. Yes, sweetheart. Then why is he so mad at you? Because sometimes saving someone hurts them first, and sometimes people need to be angry before they can heal. He thinks about this. Then he crosses the room and hugs me, just wraps his small arms around my waist and holds on tight. Thank you for saving my dad, he whispers. I close my eyes and hug him back. You're welcome, baby. Then he's gone too, running after his sister and father. Richard stands awkwardly. Mrs. Chen, we can reschedule. No. I sit back down. Let's finish this. We spend the next hour going through paperwork, signing documents, updating wills and trusts and beneficiaries, making sure that if something happens to me, my grandchildren are protected. Making sure David can never sign away his rights to someone dangerous again. Making sure I've done everything I can to keep my family safe, even if they hate me for it. When we're done, Richard walks me to the door. For what it's worth, he says quietly, you did the right thing. Did I? Your son is alive. Your grandchildren have a father. Jessica Park is behind bars where she can't hurt anyone else. He squeezes my shoulder. Sometimes the right thing feels terrible. I drive home alone. The house is quiet when I walk in. Still, the same house I've lived in for 37 years. The same house Jessica wanted to sell out from under me. I make myself tea, sit at the kitchen table, the same table where Detective Martinez showed me photos of 3 dead men, the same table where we planned everything. My phone buzzes. A text from David. The kids want to come over this weekend. Saturday, 2 p.m. I'll drop them off and pick them up. I won't come inside. Relief floods through me. It's something. It's not forgiveness, but it's something. I text back. That would be wonderful. I'll make cookies. No response. I didn't expect one. I sit there for a long time, drinking tea, watching the snow fall outside, thinking about Jessica's face when they dragged her away, thinking about David's voice. You destroyed my life. Thinking about the alternative. My son in a casket. Jessica crying fake tears at his funeral. My grandchildren growing up with a murderer. Me locked in Shady Oaks, declared incompetent, helpless to stop any of it. No. This pain is better than that nightmare. This anger is better than that grief. My phone buzzes again. Another text, but not from David. From a number I don't recognize. Mrs. Chen, this is Linda Torres. My daughter is married to a man I don't trust. I found your name in an article about Jessica Park's arrest. Please. I think my daughter is in danger. Can we talk? I stare at the message for a long moment. Then I forward it to Detective Martinez. Because there are more Jessicas out there, more predators, more families in danger. And maybe, just maybe, I can help save them before it's too late. Even if it costs me everything. Even if my own son never forgives me. I text back to Linda Torres. Yes. Let's talk. Tomorrow morning, I'll send you my address. Then I pour myself another cup of tea and wait for morning. Epilogue. 6 months later. I'm standing in my backyard, watching Emma and Ryan play on the swing set their grandfather built 20 years ago. The same swing set where David played when he was their age. The same backyard where my husband died, mowing the lawn on a Sunday morning. David is here too. Not inside the house, he's still not ready for that, but he's here, sitting on the porch steps, watching his kids play. It's the first time he's stayed. "Mom?" he calls out. I turn. He's looking at me, really looking at me, not through me. "Yeah?" He clears his throat. "I talked to my therapist about everything." "That's good." "She says I need to. I need to understand that you were in an impossible situation." He stands up slowly, walks toward me. "She says what you did, it took courage, and that I'm allowed to be angry, but I also need to acknowledge that you saved my life." I don't say anything, don't move. David stops a few feet away. "I'm not ready to forgive you yet. I don't know if I ever will be. But I'm trying to understand, and the kids, they miss you. They need their grandma. I miss them too." "I know." He shoves his hands in his pockets. "So maybe we can try. Family dinners again, supervised at first, but try." My eyes burn. "I'd like that. No more secrets, though. No more playing detective. If something's wrong, you tell me. Even if you think I won't believe you, you tell me." "Okay." "I mean it, Mom." "I know you do." I step forward carefully. "David, I am sorry. Not for saving you, but for the pain it caused, for the way it happened, for everything you lost." He's quiet for a long moment. Then, "I know. It's not forgiveness. Not yet. Maybe not ever. But it's a start." Emma runs over, breathless. "Grandma, can we have cookies?" "Of course, sweetie." "Can Daddy come inside too?" She looks between us hopefully. "Please?" David and I lock eyes. He takes a deep breath. Yeah, I can come inside." We walk into the house together. My son, my grandchildren, my family. Broken, but healing. Damaged, but alive. And that wine-stained silk blouse still hangs in my closet. I've kept it all these months. A reminder of the night everything changed. The night I stopped being silent. The night I chose my son's life over his love. And I'd do it again. Every single time.